Hey guys, creator mom in the house. Anyways, I want to share something kind of powerful with you guys. So yesterday I talked about fixing or shifting our heart energy like out of fear and guilt and like a blob of negative emotions, which is good. What I have noticed is that like if I'm meditating and just being in prayer, being quiet, and this one thought keeps coming to me, it's like stabbing me almost. It's like a thorn in the flesh, if you will. And it's just like this one thought that's provoking me and bringing up a lot of fear. I guess meditation is good for that. Like you sit down, you quiet yourself, but it's like there are thoughts that that kind of just fly by, like you got to do this or you got to do that and blah blah blah, like those like chattery thoughts. But sometimes there's like a consistent thought, and it's really bringing like a lot of fear. You notice there's like a lot of fear attached to it. And it's like take I think that fear and that thought and that thing is just like a signal to be like, okay, let's deal with this. Let's unravel this, right? So let's meditate. Yeah, let's do that. But I notice that if there's a topic that I'm afraid of and it keeps coming to me in meditation, I sit up and I say, all right, let's deal with this. Let's untangle this thing that I'm so afraid of, you know? It's almost like the fear is an invitation, right? Because the fear is signaling, like, hey, there's this really bad story that you have around this topic, this thing, and in your mind, you are making it really big. I tend to do that with the fear of the unknown. Like, I'll get a lot of fear and it'll just, it, it, uh, it takes precedent, and really it's like the fear of the unknown, like what's going to happen. And then my mind creates like the worst, is trying to create the worst story that's going to happen. But thank God for awareness, right? Because awareness will be like, okay, well, hold on a second. I'm noticing that I'm observing this really negative story around this topic. How can I take a step back and unravel what's going on here? What are my beliefs around this? What am I thinking? Like, lay out the story. Like, okay, so I'm thinking this is going to happen. Like, how true is this? My friend of mine says, put the thought on trial, right? Like, how likely is this to happen? Where is this fear coming from about this thing? It hasn't even happened yet, but your mind wants to tell you, like, this is what's going to happen. It's just like we can fight against that by untangling the story and trying to discover where these emotions are coming from, what beliefs are surrounding it that are causing these emotions of fear. So the fear is an invitation to investigate your story, to kind of untangle it and tear it apart a little bit, and to disprove it. The fear is like an invitation to disprove your story and to also at the same time try to create a new story. And it's like you're sitting on your bed. I think the Bible has a verse about like sitting on your bed and meditating. Sit on your bed and talk out loud to yourself, to God. You're talking to God within you. You're having an inner conversation out loud. And you can write stuff down too. I think writing things down really helps. Like, okay, let me write down, what is this story that I'm telling myself? And now let me invite myself to create a new story. Let me create a story that I actually want to benefit me, that I actually want. Let me stop focusing on what I don't want in this fear. So now that I've discovered where this fear may be coming from, oh, okay, yeah, this is coming from my belief that was passed on to me that I'm a bad person. And because I'm a bad person, everybody else is going to see me as a bad person or something. That's not true, right? That's a false belief. Let me rearrange this and make a better story. And I'll say, okay, I decide and make a decision that this is the way things are going to happen. And this is how I feel about myself. I am, I wrote down today, like, I'm right on time. I am divinely guided. I am perfect. Um, so start to create new beliefs that serve you about yourself. Let go of old beliefs that maybe were given to you by your parents, narcissistic parents, you know what I'm saying? We have to let go of those stories. And I'm not saying like this is a one and done thing. It could be, especially if there's a lot of glory, if there's a lot of presence and power in your moment and in your meditation. It could be like a one and doneer, or it could be something that you like that kind of comes back a little bit and you revisit it and you like recorrect it and and kind of replace it with your new story again. Like, everything is going to go perfectly. Everything is going to work out perfectly for me. It's going to be so easy. And I'm just going to be like, well, what was all that fear about? You know what I mean? Fear is an invitation for you to like realize that you do have a say. You do have a choice to shift things and to change things and to decide that I don't want that story because it's creating a really negative emotion in me, and I've learned that I don't have to have that story. I think that that's the most powerful thing to keep in mind and to remember, is that you don't have to carry that story. And also realizing that your stories, like if you keep, holding on to this, well, maybe that's going to produce that. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard because it's like you think, basically, we have to let go of the old story. But first, it does help to untangle it and realize and say it out loud, right? Like, and then like shift it and change it and say, well, no, that's not what's going to happen, because it hasn't happened yet. That's the thing. We have to remember, it's like your mind wants to be like, it already happened, like this is what's going to happen, but it hasn't happened. It's a fearful story. Take a step back, unravel it, create a story that serves you better with a better outcome. It's like we tend to think like, no, this is my fearful story and I'm going to believe this. It's more believable. I'm going to believe that. It's like, no, you have a choice to detach from that. We have a choice to detach and say, why wouldn't we believe that this story that would work out better for me is what's going to happen?